Today, we're going to talk about toy vegetables as usual, but today's toy will be a little different. Actually, it's still a vehicle, but this time it's a vehicle with only 3 wheels and it moves very slowly. That's because I think if we make the car go fast, there are some things we won't have the chance to learn. So I thought if we use a low-speed motor and connect it to other wheels and we start from the electrical circuit, we have 2 batteries going through a switch and then supplying power to the motor. The motor we're going to use for the car today is a very slow speed motor. It spins very slowly. Normally, the motors we see, when we supply power to them, they spin so fast that we can barely tell they're spinning, right? But for this motor, inside it, there are quite a few gears. All those gears reduce the speed. So instead of spinning super fast like usual, it slows down to about a little over 1 rotation per second. About this kind of herb, if we use 2 batteries, so when we build the car will run. For the car itself, we only use 300 something, possibly referring to a part or measurement, with 2 wheels that are free spinning and can move on their own. But for the drive wheel, I use a rubber wheel, for example, with a diameter of about a little over 1 inch, which has a hole in the center, just the right size to fit onto the motor shaft. So, with this motor, once we attach the wheel, which is the rubber wheel I mentioned, every wheel will be powered. The axle is already in place, so we attach it to the car by drilling a hole for the wheel to fit through. Secure the motor tightly enough so it doesn't come loose. At this point, the car can already run, but it doesn't look very interesting. So, I decided to add another feature. Near the circumference of the wheel, I stuck in a pin or a small nail. Not exactly on the circumference, but just a little bit away from it. When the wheel spins, the position of the pin will rotate along with it. Then I use 2 pieces of wood placed beside the pin. So as the pin rotates, it pushes the wood pieces to move back and forth. I extended this part of the wood upward and made it into a little doll. It's as if the doll is holding the wood and rocking it forward and backward, similar to how the doll's arm rocks to make the car move. But in reality, it's actually the opposite, right? We know that the motor spins using energy, but if you look at this car, you'll see that there's a doll holding the lever, rocking it back and forth. While we're talking, you should be able to see it, because the car will be moving back and forth. It keeps going back and forth like this for several rounds. I want you to see that it can actually work, and as you can see, it's running pretty fast right now. I've doubled the speed actually. In reality, it used to run at half this speed. If it runs too slowly, it doesn't look very interesting, so I increased the speed. As for the motor, I got it from a motor that's used to adjust the lens in a camera. It's a very small motor that's inside a camera. So, let's see what else we can do with it. After finishing this one, maybe we can go further and turn it into a moving doll. It could be a turtle or any animal whose legs can move using the power from this motor. So, try to think about it further. As for the materials used, the wheels you see on the car moving back and forth are actually the caps from air freshener spray cans. Which means whatever leftover materials are produced, you can go find them and show the kids that these things can be put to good use. Or if you can't find them, you can use plastic bottle caps and stick them onto the axle. I noticed that for the axle, the teacher uses skewers, either meat or meatball skewers that you can buy at the market, which aren't expensive. All the materials are things we're already familiar with, like corrugated plastic board. So there's really nothing that The only thing that might not look familiar to us is probably this small electric motor here. The teacher wants us to get to know this motor. If you have any questions about it, feel free to write in and ask. And for today, I hope this has been somewhat useful for the kids watching right now. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.